Hello and good morning. A good day to you. It's morning here at the time of making the video. It is February 19th, 2020, and this is going to be video 648, I'm sorry. And the video will be a little bit about forgetting who we were, and I'm not sure if that'll be the title of it, but yesterday, uh, while I was at work, I went to the restroom and as I was sitting there washing my hands and looking up in the bathroom mirror and trying to remember how I used to look. And I guess the benefit of a YouTube channel with videos starting back from before I transitioned, I can actually go back and see how I looked. But it's not really something I'm interested in doing. I don't have any pictures of myself before I transitioned laying around anywhere. I don't have any on the computer here. I changed my computer twice since I transitioned, and so I don't have, pictures of myself. And the only pictures that I really have, I have pictures of me when I was in a Rocky Horror Cast. I have pictures of that. I have pictures up until I went to college, odds and ends, nothing of myself. I mean, in fact, now that I think about it, there were other pictures. When I volunteered at a Boy Scout summer camp in Colorado, I have pictures of other people that I was with, and of course the scenery and everything else, but not really pictures of me. Growing up, I didn't want my picture taken, obviously. I wasn't very happy with my image. Um, Much the same way I'm not currently happy with my image because I've gained so much weight. And I do intend to, once the season changes a little bit, get back into exercising, although that's not really a good excuse because I have a treadmill here I could walk on. I just something about, I don't know, anyway, neither here nor there. So the subject of the video is forgetting how we look. Like I said, as I looked in the mirror yesterday, I really had a hard time remembering how I looked. And it kind of reminded me somewhat of various stories that I've read where there's some sort of um, shapeshifter or doppelganger, even, um, you know, who someone or some creature that has changed its appearance so many times it can't remember what it originally looked like. I guess a doppelganger probably. Well, doppelgangers in D&D have a natural state, so I guess they kind of know what they look like. But someone who maybe inherited the power or the ability, over time, forget what they look like. And I know one or two trans women who, uh, every Tuesday they post a picture, Transition Tuesday, of themselves, and I know more about what they look like than what I used to look like, and I guess everyone, it's individually what's important. When I transitioned, um, I didn't want to jettison who I was. I was not ashamed of who I was. I didn't like the way I looked, and obviously I didn't like my gender, obviously. I didn't identify with the gender that I was born with. Maybe that's a misnomer. I didn't identify with the sex I was born with. That's probably the better way to say that, at least from my opinion. For myself, your mileage may vary. How you feel about yourself may be different, but like I said, I don't necessarily want to be reminded, and I guess that's why I've forgotten somewhat, but it struck me somewhat as odd. I was trying to look in the mirror and see who I used to be, and I really had a hard time. Ooh, excuse me, just ate some. Even now, looking, and I can kind of see who I was. I don't know. I've gained so much weight. Um, when I before I transitioned, I weighed about this much, and well, a little less. And then I transitioned and gained a lot of weight. And then I lost it for the surgery, and now I've slowly kind of gained it back. My body has reached equilibrium, I guess, of where my body thinks it needs to be. Um, this is as much weight as I'm 336 pounds, I think. And obviously, I could weigh less if I exercised more, went on a diet, joined a gym, any of those stereotypical things. Um, Change the way that I eat. I don't eat bad food. I mean, I eat. If anything, I don't eat enough. I don't. My caloric intake is not high enough to stimulate my metabolism, and so that's why I keep weight. I have a very slow metabolism, and but anyway, that was one of the things when I lost all my weight is I actually had to eat, um, golly, almost doubled if not tripled my caloric intake, and it was that stimulating my body that made me lose the weight and whatnot. But that's neither here nor there. So again, getting back to the idea of forgetting who we were, I was kind of curious if you're interested, just if you could share a little bit, post a comment. Do you remember kind of what you used to look like, and how important is that to you? How often is it something that is, forever in the back of your mind? Is it something in the front of your mind? Is it something you've kind of uh, packaged away as put an old term, put put it in a box and put it away into deep memory, old storage, or is it something maybe that you find yourself you've forgotten too? And definitely, if it's something that you're living in the present moment, maybe it's not something that's on the forefront of your thinking. But it just for myself, it struck me as odd. I really have forgotten what I used to look like, and I don't know. It kind of struck me as interesting. Not something that when you're in the process of transitioning within the first 24 months, I'd say, of hormones, you're so intent on changing the way that you look. When is this gonna take place? When is, my face is rounding out, my lines are softening, my skin is changing, things that maybe not necessarily have anything to do with appearance. I know again, I lost the ability to make body heat. I got cold more often as my body changed. Muscle mass, obviously, too. I made a video yesterday about moving furniture, and while I was never a strong person, I'm 6 foot tall, and let me rephrase it. While I was never a muscular person with tone, I could lift weight. I mean, I could help people move furniture. I could move large objects and whatnot. And not anymore. I've lost so much upper body strength, and obviously, I think because I've gotten a little fat and a little what's the right word for it? Pleasantly plump. Just I've not used my muscles, and so they atrophy, and replaced with fat or whatnot. If I look at my genetic background, my mom and her mom, my grandmother, both were very big women, rotund, and had the flabby skin, the wattles under their arms. I don't have that yet, but genetically, that's the genetic disposition. So I can blame genetics up to a certain point, but no, it's my own choice how I decide to live. But again, back to the idea of forgetting who we were. And I know some people, and again, I can use myself as an example. There are definitely parts of my past I don't want to really remember. I don't. Um, um, Golly, my whole experience, I'm trying to think when. when was I alive? Well, obviously I'm alive, obviously. But if I think back to middle school, I don't know. I didn't like myself. When I was in elementary school, I really didn't like myself. I didn't like my body because I wanted to be a girl, you know. And as the differences between boys and girls really stood out, it really kind of messed me up in elementary school. You know, this is for girls, this is for boys, and I was, you know, well, I identify more with the girls. And then in middle school, I almost was happy. Let me rephrase that. I was not unhappy. I was kind of mediocre about it, because there were a lot of things that the girls did that I didn't really get or understand. The backstabbing and, you know, the attitude and everything. Um, I guess I derailed it a little bit and kind of went numb. And then in high school, I can remember, um, you know, having a personality and doing things and kind of trying to develop my own way, but still having that inner, you know, conflict and you know, I so wanted to be a woman or a young lady so much. Um, but that really was the last where I had any real sense of self. And my college years, initially, the first 2 years of college, I basically was just a walking corpse. You know, I would go to classes, Air Force, ROTC, uh, got decorated for my whatever I was decorated uh, for being a good cadet and everything, and promising, and I was on my way to the Air Force Academy and everything else. Um, but boy, one day the camel that whatever broke, well, the stick that broke the camel's back happened to me when I was a second year of college, and depression, and I wanted, you know, realized I was on my own and I could do whatever the hell I wanted to do, as long as I could masquerade, I guess, as a male, and that's where it became somewhat hard in ROTC. You know, I can remember, you know, shaving my legs, and you know, here I was at inspection, playing a trick on the inspector. No, but you know, again, I love the feeling of my legs being shaved and the freedom to be who I wanted to be, and yet chained to a male stereotype as I had to wear my uniform and be a good second year cadet and everything. AS 200. Um, and that's really when the shit hit the fan, as it were, and I kind of had a mental breakdown. Anyway, laptop is going to run out of battery power, so I got to end this a little early. But this is a good topic. Um, and so, yes, I was kind of numb. And so I don't really have the memories. I don't really have the history. I didn't really live. And even in later years, when I went back to college again the second time, um, I was cross dressing and I knew I was transgender and I was playing with it. And of course, I did transition, hormones and everything when I was in my 20s. And then I ran out of money. And it was like, okay, I have to go back into the male world to earn money, to survive. And that's what I did. And anyway, so like I said, I guess I really don't have that go back and remember, but to look at myself now and try to imagine, it's hard to remember. You know, those memories I think are naturally things that we don't think about every day. They do kind of get put into deep storage and we have to go back and kind of pull them out. But I'm curious for your take and what you think about it. If you could put in a comment, your experience, you know, do you remember? Do you have fond memories? Are they positive? Hopefully, post transition, post full time, um, I'm not going to say happy as a lark, but hopefully, a bad day post A bad day full time is better than the best day. Good. How does that go? Hopefully, a bad day being full time is better than any good day uh, denying yourself who you were before. But in the meantime, I wish you the best of luck in becoming your authentic self as you define it. I encourage you to take it slow. I had a good friend who had just had their GCS, and same advice I'd give to them: take it slow, take it slow. You got the rest of your life. She's in her 20s, and so we have another 20-year-old, luckily, who's going to be fully transitioned and fully sexually active and all that good stuff in their 20s. Can you imagine? Oh, wish the best of luck. Best of luck for all of us. Use what you got. Boy, I'm full of cliches, aren't I? Early bird catches the worm. No. Definitely make the best with what you have. That's all you got. Okay. All right, my friends. That's it. Good luck. Bye bye.